Alright, hello, Speed Gaming, and welcome to the Super Metroid and Randomizer League Season 3 Finals. It's the finals. It's the very last game of the entire season ever. This is it. Winner takes all. This is it. This is the last one. So, I'm really glad you're all here. Tonight, I am joined by Kip. How are you, Kip?
I'm great, PBB. I'm really excited. This is going to be a fun race. And by the ancient laws of combat, when you are bested in Randomizer League by another competitor, you have to do whatever that competitor says. Polar Bear Bunny told me I had to do comms with her tonight. Since she beat me, here I am.
Yes, I did force Kip into this. We've had a really exciting last round of these playoffs here. Obviously 2-2, best of 5, so this will be it. Whoever wins takes home the championship for their team. Speaking of, we've got on the left Shaktool's Digging Game, represented by Oster, and on the right, Funky Town, represented by Galamaz.
Yeah, and this series and this race in particular have a lot of cool storylines going on. I think the kind of biggest and foremost one that I find really interesting, because I actually heard both of these guys tell me this separately individually before tonight's race. But Aster is the Season 2 champion. Galamaz, this is his first season being in the league, but he did win our 2017 randomizer tournament. But these two guys actually compete with each other occasionally in some of the ROM hack, like world record attempts and stuff. And so this is kind of like the battle of the ROM hack world record holders. And I think they both actually hold the world record for the particular group that they were in the league. So this is a great rivalry, a great competition. Polar Bear Bunny, the draft, I find this draft to be really interesting. Tell us who picked what in what order.
Well, Oster got the first pick, and he actually chose to turn Boss Shuffle on. I think noticing that Galamaz likes to turn it off in prior rounds. Galamaz went ahead and chose Major Minor item locations, and then Oster chose Light Area randomization.
This is a really interesting draft. Obviously, since I'm on Gala's team, he and I have been practicing a lot together all season, especially in the playoffs, talking a lot of strategy. And we both actually discussed what we thought the draft would be. We nailed the last draft because Aster and Gala raced in game 3. Galamaz won. I think that draft was Aster picked Major Minor, Galamaz turned Boss randomization off, and then Aster countered with full area. Galamaz ended up winning that race. And when Galamaz and I were talking about what we thought Aster might would draft this time, we both talked about there's a pretty good chance he might lead with Boss Rando on, since you have not, been picking it. So we already had a plan in advance for what this was going to be. Galamaz countering with Major Minor, I think, is the right decision. It's the mode that he's most familiar with of the 4 that could have been chosen, although he does know how to do all 4. So I think this is a really heady, smart pick by Aster, and I like the way that Galamaz countered. So plus Light Rando is actually one of my favorite modes. I think it's a lot of fun. And this will be a really interesting watch. The way Light Area impacts Boss Rando, it can be really wild sometimes, because there are guaranteed to be 2 bosses in the general vicinity of the Norfair area, because Norfair is forced to connect to Kraid's Lair and Lower Norfair in Light Area. So anyway, we're off. Polar Bear Bunny, opening thoughts. What do you think we're going to be looking at here?
Well, I am hugely nervous, but yeah, we let our runners go. Yeah, I was kind of thinking with these picks in the draft, like, I didn't even know what would be picked and what would be best to choose. I feel like at this point in the league, anything goes, and you need to be prepared to beat your opponent in anything. The first interesting choice we might be able to see made is whether these guys go and check the portal to the left in Blue Brinstar by the Sidehoppers. In Light Area, it could be a good play to skip it and just narrow it down by checking the other 4 around here, but see if they get power bombs and what they choose to do.
I do agree with you in light. I think it's a better play in full area or heavier area, if you will. I don't think it's a bad play in light. It just depends on the seed. I usually don't check it, but if you happen to have that kind of rare seed where it's kind of wanting you to do that, because sometimes it can kind of troll you and set it up that way, then it can end up being a really powerful thing to do. So it looks like Gala's having trouble getting the morphing ball here.
Yeah, you'll have to. There he goes. After the first 2 swoops, you'll have to let him kind of do 2 more, and then he'll get back to the good pattern. And they do get power bombs, so.
Huge sigh of relief, I'm sure, by both runners. You love to find early power bombs.
Yes. Supers too, but I think power bombs probably a little bit more so. They can be a little bit more elusive, but we did get supers as well.
This is very good. I'm sure both runners are happy that they're not going to be having to go around all over the place to find their progression miners. I don't want to overload the audience with info, but one thing I want you guys to kind of pay attention to is the way light area impacts the early game. Every section of the game is connected to exactly the number of vanilla connections. Looks like they're going to go over here and check this miner. I don't know if they're going to check the portal. But anyway, in Crateria/Blue Bryn, you're guaranteed to have 2 connections to Green Brinstar, 1 to Wreck Ship, 1 to Torian, and 1 to Red Brinstar. And one of the things to watch out for is that Wreck Ship connection. If it's the ocean side, that means that if you have a super and an explosive, you can basically get in there and do it immediately, especially if you're, comfortable with new route style Phantoon. But if it's the back way, you're either going to need gravity or like high jump boots or space jump to be able to get to it. So that can really impact where you end up deciding to go from there to look for items. So kind of be on the lookout for that.
Well, actually, the first regular missiles at Old Mother Brain, both of them choosing to just grab the super pack and go back up the climb, so neither of them checking that entrance, so they're just gonna narrow it down in their heads later.
Yeah, it looks like Gala is committing to picking up a few extra miners. Asher has already skipped one, although I did like the pickup of the one behind the power bomb there. I don't know. Looks like Gala is going to check 230 just to be a little thorough here. And what do we got at BT? Ice Beam early. Wow, that's interesting.
Ugh. Ice Beam is really interesting. I think Ice Beam is a good initial indicator that the seed might want you to do some Toolless Meridia eventually. We'll probably wait till we see some high jump boots to start thinking about that. Gala gets another missile at 230 missiles, which is not a bad thing, especially if Phantoon shows up early. You definitely want regular missiles.
That is true. I've actually seen seeds like that. It's not fun when you're trying to do Phantoon early with 5 missiles. Another excellent pickup. I love bombs. Bombs makes things a lot more comfortable, so I think both runners will be happy to see that at Terminator. All right, I'm going to start tracking for us. What do we got here at the G4 door? That's the Red Tower entrance.
Pretty good hub here. There's another entrance over to the right. Most of these Red Tower portals are going to take you to Meridia, but one will take you to Upper Norfair, and then there'll be another one to Brinstar.
That's right. This is a critical situation because there it is. That is the sole portal into Upper Norfair in the entirety of the game. That is the only one that's going to lead to Upper Norfair. And then once you get into Upper Norfair and Light, then every one of those doors connects to Kraid's Lair, Crocomire's Lair, I guess, if you will, Lower Norfair, and then back out. So it's a great find for Asher early. Looks like he's going to go ahead and come down here and check Spazer. Gala's going to go ahead and check the left side. I like this play because if it's a green Brinstar location, he can go ahead and clear those 3 majors and then kind of maybe potentially come back to that red Brinstar location or even avoid it, depending. So yeah, it looks like that's what he's going to do. It's possible that he could end up with the red Brinstar connection at the very top of green here, and to the point where he wouldn't even have to ride the elevator that Gallimaz rode. I don't necessarily think either play is right or wrong, but it could work out routing-wise, potentially in Gallimaz's favor.
And there's a wave beam at Spazer for Azure. That will come in handy for sure as far as damage output. Yeah, finding Green Brinstar is, I mean, it's pretty much the typical place that you go in a normal non-area seed, and it's just comfy. Even if there's nothing huge there as far as major items, it does give you a nice stockpile of E-tanks and ammo to kind of get you rolling.
That it does. Gallimaz found the tube. And by the way, I misspoke earlier. I should be a little more clear. The G4 connection, I call it Red Elevator because technically there is a door literally in Red Tower, like the Red Tower room, that's a portal. So I need to be a little bit careful what I say. But Gallimaz found the Green Hills connected to the tube. So if he wants to come back here, he can. However, another option is he has basically a 66% chance that the green elevator could actually connect back to either Moat or the Crab portal. And technically that could end up connecting, the other portal in that area could connect to Rex ship. So I'm curious to see if he chooses to go and check that just to get the info, or if he just doubles back and goes to red.
As you're pulling the move going through the tube, we saw in your race versus Aussie kind of doing the same thing really early, but backing out of that area at the time. Not in logic without hydrogen boots or gravity suit, but got to Green Bin. Now they're in the same area.
They are. Gallimaz is, behind time-wise because... I'm sorry about that. Sam's upset. I'll mute my mic in a minute. But basically, Gal is a little bit behind. Aster's done a few skips and is already ahead on checking Red Brinstar. But anyway, we'll see what's up here at the reserve location.
Yeah, Asher actually out of power bomb, so he can't even check the wave gate, even though he so nicely has wave beam for it. Luckily, it is just a tank, so he's not missing out if he never comes back to it. And knowing him, he probably won't come back to it. He'll probably farm just like Gala did here to go ahead and check these Eticoons. Or not, I'm a liar. There's a decent chance that there will be a powerbomb pack in here in this early supers area though. Ooh. Well, Gala finding the grappling beam, Asher finding Varia. Super early Varia, so that might mean he goes right to Norfair really soon. Hopefully we'll check out the Eticoons get grapple, because it might actually end up being required, but we'll see.
Varia is a great item. By the way, I apologize again for my dog. I think there's some solicitors walking around the neighborhood and she's not happy about it. But Varia is a great item, obviously. It's one of the best items you can find, but it still is tricky in boss, because if you go straight to Norfair, don't find gravity, and then like Dragon is in one of those rooms or something, you can still do it and get out potentially, but sometimes depending on what your loadout is it can be a bit problematic. So it has the making of a little bit of a faster seed at first, but you just can't really tell until you start seeing the boss layout.
Yep, exactly. And in that exact situation, that grapple is gonna come in handy big time, because that will likely be pretty much your only way out of the Dragon room. Gala, of course, picking up Varia as well. Pretty neck and neck here, Asher just having the little wave beam advantage. We'll see where Gala heads next.
Aster's definitely ahead by a good chunk time-wise. Gala does have more minor items to begin with, which, especially in Major Minor, it really just depends. Sometimes you'll just run straight into charge early, sometimes it'll be at a really convenient place late. But if you never find it, and then you have to kind of start trying to figure out whether you want to look for it or not, at the end, that can be a little problematic. So Gallo's being pretty flexible, but at the same time, either play can be a risk. It just kind of depends on what the rest of the seed has in store. I like this little sink though.
Yeah, for sure. As you're using the mission rescue palette again, so it's really hard to tell when he lays a power bomb. And going ahead and skipping the wave gate item, even though it's right there.
Did he actually skip that one?
He did.
Huh.
He,
That's a really interesting play.
It's such an Azure play. Just skip something one time and then it's just dead to him forever, I guess. Gala wants to go to the left here. Both of those entrances on the right were kind of bad Meridia areas that don't want to deal with right now, especially without high jump boots. He's remembering to get Spazer.
Yeah, he's probably going to do Spazer and then X-Ray would be my guess. And I would assume Asher's going to check X-Ray right now as well.
I've definitely seen and been guilty of forgetting to go right next door to the Spazer location.
Oh, yeah.
Leaving something important there.
It can definitely happen. I'm curious to see what this is going to be here, given how fast the seed has been and given that it gave grapple so early.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be totally shocked to find a decent item here, but we'll see. Huh, how about that?
Plasma. On a very rare occasion, hard required, but very nice to have, especially if charge actually shows up.
Yeah, plasma is incredibly powerful when you have the charge beam to go with it. But if you don't, and you just roll around through the game with it, it's still very useful, but it's just kind of a feels bad, man. Like you never get to take full advantage of it. So I'm really curious about this gravity and charge beam situation.
Mm-hmm.
The seed has been playing very fast so far. So I'm really curious if this is just going to be one of those go to Norfair, find the 2 items, and then you race to the finish. Because technically that's really all they need to finish is charge and gravity at this point.
Alright, yep. To Norfair goes Azure. We'll see what's on the left side of Kraid's face. I guess it's not really Kraid, but Gala is gonna see all these Meridia entrances. Oh, that's Lord Norfair, and he's definitely not gonna go. There is the Firefleet item that's decently close. But I understand maybe not wanting to go with this ammo and this health situation. Want to see what majors he can gather up here first.
Galamaw's getting a couple supers, which is nice. He only has 10 max as well. So does Astra, but he was down to 0. So nice to have those cack attacks there. And you know, it's interesting because Astra skipped some checks, and then also Gala, you know, kind of did a different route, but they're actually pretty close together right now. So anyway, we're trapped in this Norfair section. As I mentioned before, all of the other 4 portals, other than the one that we entered with, are going to be 2 lower Norfair ones, Kraid and Croc. So you're definitely going to be going to Kraid. You're definitely going to be going to lower Norfair at some point. The Croc play is an interesting one. It really just depends on how you read the seed. This is the kind of seed I personally would not really want to go to Croc unless I just had to. But at the same time, it really just depends on where the bosses are. You could potentially get in like really big trouble down here, depending on which bosses are down here.
And then there's the Spring Ball, another common component of Suitless Meridia. Yeah, Gala has significantly more missiles than Azure has. He has 40, and now Azure has 15. So just Spring Ball on these two checks. They're definitely going to go head over to the right. Bubble Mountain itself having 3 items, and then of course the 3 new portals that we get to check.
Yeah, and I think this is so far more fortunate for Aster because let's imagine that, you know, in theory, you actually can have 2 vanilla bosses in Boss Shuffle. So if this was like Kraid and Ridley down here in Norfair, it would have been a lot better for Gala with all those minor checks if he'd have gotten a bunch more supers and would have actually had the ammo to kill Ridley. But right now, all those extra checks, unfortunately, in this seed, didn't really give him that advantage. So that I would say that right now, that unless a bunch of supers start showing up, the extra checks have been, unfortunately, to Aster's, well, not unfortunately, but just unfortunately for Gala, investing all that time and not getting a payout for it that could actually lead to some kind of advantage.
Exactly, and there's some supers right there. Gala right behind, making his way through Cathedral. I definitely still like the comfy 30 number of supers, but these runners are probably fine. Ooh,
that's a good super.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about. That's what you really want to find if you're checking extra minor locations.
Big time. And you know what? I feel like this one doesn't get checked a ton because there's just not a ton of times where you're running through here with Barry on anyway. But that's actually a pretty quick check. So that's really fortunate for at Gala in particular, since he's going to find another super pack here in a minute where Aster did. So in theory, let's imagine they find Kraid's lair and it's Ridley. It could be possible that Gala ends up with an ability to kill Ridley faster unless one of these 2 items are Charge Beam.
Gala checking speed first, so they'll be pretty close with this item check. More missiles in the ceiling. Just another E-Tank.
Are we going to get the classic triple E-Tank Bubble Mountain?
Yes, of course.
Of course, usually if there's a good item in Bubble Mountain, it's usually at Wave. And that's not just me kind of saying that to be goofy. Like, it actually usually is there if it's going to be only at one location. So I remember even Maniacal talking about how he started actually checking Wave first, just in case. So we'll see. I like this farm up here. It's good. You know, everybody kind of gets on edge when they see runners standing still, but you got to remember they're investing for their future. It's really good to go ahead and try to equip as best you can for a potential future situation. So I like the idea of them farming here. Kind of both getting a little unlucky with the drops. It's kind of gross, actually.
We'll also get to see what the Wave Beam Miner is, and Gala is going to get these supers, and once he gets the missile also that's in the back here, he'll have exactly enough projectile ammo to kill Ridley.
Yep, and the best possible situation for him would be if they found Kraid's lair and that's where Ridley was, because he would be able to farm some supers from Mini Kraid to get full, and that would be like the easiest thing. My assumption is that after this check, yep, triple E-Tank, I think Aster is probably going to start by checking the single chamber portal, and then if it's Croc, my guess would be he's going to leave. If it's Lower Norfair, I think he's going to leave probably. I think he's going to keep looking around until he finds that Kraid's lair one so they can figure out what the first boss is. So let's see what it's going to be. What's your guess for this portal, PBB?
I think this is going to be a lava dive. And I was just gonna turn right around. Let's go.
It is exactly what it is. Why on earth would you call it lava dive when you have your only moment ever in the game to call it Ridley mouth? Come on.
He didn't get close enough to the face. Alright, so which one? Okay, it's gonna go down the chronic boost first.
This is, I've timed this out. I don't remember the exact result, but I think it made me end up deciding that going the other way was like my preferred way, but I think it had more to do with like safety in certain situations. This is not going to be as fast as it would be in like a new route situation. Not that big of a deal though. And plus, on top of that, he has wave beam and grapple. So as soon as he checks this, if it's like Croc, for example, he can literally turn around, open up that blue gate that leads to that spiky lava room or whatever, and immediately head over to the Croc check. So this is very good routing. I think it works great.
It's Croc. Oh, he's actually gonna fight him.
He's gonna do it.
I'm slightly surprised. Think Gal will fight him too? I think he will.
Maybe. We'll see. I think my last words to Gala before we quit talking for this race was I was like, never fight Croc, it's gonna lose the race. No, I'm just kidding. But no, you know, there's 2 items down here. It's a great check. Plus, I mean, you're already here. You might as well. I really don't know, though, whether or not Gala will choose to do it. This is going to be a turning point of this race. But to be honest with you, most of the time when Croc comes up, it usually is. So we'll see.
Yep, he's either got something huge or he's a huge waste of time. And there's no in between. Gallo, thinking. I know it's such a hard decision.
To do it. Okay. So this ends up being a push. Not bad or good for either player necessarily. Of course, the one thing that you got to keep in mind is the sort of metagame, right? Both runners are doing this. If they whiff, like if there's nothing good down here, will they assume that the other runner did not do it and then start making other major skips, right? So this is going to be really interesting. And then the flip side is if you find a huge item here, do you assume the other guy didn't and that you're way ahead? So this is going to be fascinating. What's your call, PBB? What's it going to be?
Speed booster.
Oh, it's going to be huge. I'm going to call a reserve tank.
Oh, that's going to feel bad.
I'm not rooting for it, but that's what I feel like it's going to be.
Do you want them to feel bad?
I don't.
Oh.
Like I said, it was a reserve.
It might as well have been. Either way, it's getting skipped.
I would grab it. Listen, everybody's going to kill me for saying this. I would personally grab it. And I know it's like a 10-second loss because you got the fanfare and then the menu and all that jazz. But this is just me. I really don't like doing suitless Meridia with plasma. Spazer is way more comfortable for me. So just in case that ends up being where the seed takes me, I'd rather just invest the 10 seconds and get it. But I don't blame him or any other runner for skipping it. It makes a lot of sense.
I also think it's not bad to skip it since they do have spring ball. So in like the traditional, Gala's picking it up. Nice. Like in the traditional suitless Meridia, if you accidentally kill your crab that you're trying to freeze, they at least have spring ball as a backup.
Indeed. I totally agree with you. I think that's a great point. So we'll see. We'll see. But no high jump boots so far. No screw attack. No space jump. This is a very workable lower Norfair, but not a comfortable one at all.
Correct. Alright, last entrance had to be Crate Slayer, and it is. I think we successfully turned on light area.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to add very quickly that, you know, this is Boss Rando, and without high jump boots, you can still get out of Dragon's room, but it's a lot harder. So I'm a big fan of saving in Boss Rando beforehand. Looks like Asher is not going to save. And I don't know, like, I don't know how much Boss Rando Gallo's been practicing. I mean, we did some, but at the same time, it's easy to forget. So I think the worst possible scenario here would be for this to be Dragon. Is he farming up supers or is he going back to save? No, he's farming up supers. Okay, so, but at the same time, I bet you Aster knows how to do the high jump bootless exit, and he's probably comfortable with it. This is either going to be Dragon or, okay. That's tough.
So, I don't know personally. I've only ever done it with high jump on. I don't know how different it is.
It's a lot harder, but I will say that I will not be shocked at all. First of all, Aster definitely knows how to do it. I bet he's done it in tons of races, including probably SMZ 3 seeds and stuff like that. Secondly, he does have Barrier, which in this randomizer provides just a ton of armor and defense. So he will have like tons and tons of attempts at it. So I actually, ironically, feel like this might actually be a big advantage for Aster, because I expect Gala to literally reset, and Gala and Aster won't have to come back here, and Gala will. So this is actually probably going to end up being a really big play for Aster.
Yeah, the grapple kill, not taking very much damage with the various suit like he would if he had just gravity, but...
Oh, is Gala doing this?
Oh, yes.
I did not realize that Gala was comfortable doing this either.
He's either comfortable or he really wants to know what this item is. Could be either or. This won't be gravity suit. It is that. It is a reserve tank. Spacer number 2. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes for both of them, actually.
This is not the situation that I expected us to be in. Yeah, Aster got it, no problem.
Oh, nice. Very close.
Very quickly, and no energy loss, so that's a great play by him. This is, I'm so fascinated by them doing literally identical things both with Croc and this boss. But yeah, Aster actually picked up some time because he did not save. So technically, during this exchange, Gala probably lost about maybe 20 seconds.
Yeah, I don't blame him though. He did take a couple more tail hits than Aster had to. Luckily, he has a few more E-tanks. I'm gonna see the reserve tank, probably not going to pick it up. And then, moment of truth.
This is still awkward though, like just their general situation, because they can do lower Norfair right now. I think even Aster has enough total damage to kill Ridley. But it's still gonna be kind of weird.
Yeah, he has
and
enough.
slow.
He'll have to lay some power bombs, which yeah, is pretty slow.
Gala had it. He had it and then lost it. I actually don't know if this is something he practiced in advance. If this is not something that you've practiced, I would highly recommend against trying it in a race. It is not easy. The input sequence is a lot tighter than the normal one with high jump boots.
He does have ammo for a crystal flash if he needs it. That looks good though. Yeah, he's got it.
Heck yeah, man. Look at these gamers.
Yeah, right? This is supposed to be 2 really good players. Like, is this the finals?
It might be game 5 of the finals.
Whoa. Holy moly.
Both of these players might be Rando champions already, so
What?
maybe they're pretty good.
I'm gonna laugh so hard if Fire flees his gravity suit. Just gonna laugh to myself.
Well, we're gonna find out here shortly. I personally don't think it will be. I actually think this is gonna be a blank. We'll see.
Oh!
Look at you,
Dang!
baby.
I'm 2 for 3 today.
Killing it.
See, he could have had that a long time ago. But I do think it was the smart move. 2 E-tanks, no screw attack. Death could have easily happened.
It definitely could have. We still are in a tricky situation here, though, because even though that's a big find, you know, we still need charge beam or enough ammo to kill Mother Brain. Aster has a very, I would say, a pretty commanding lead right now, but it still just kind of depends on several things that could happen. I'm not sure what Galamaz is doing here. Is he
I think he wants to go back up to the lava dive. Well,
What is? Didn't he check all the items?
I think that's how he wants to enter Lower Norfair.
Oh,
But,
I see. Okay. Oh, he might want to check screw first.
hey,
Of going backwards.
that'll won him the game in their last race.
Yeah, see, I don't like to be critical of runners. I don't like this. If you're going to do it, you need to do it. If you're not going to do it, you don't need to go that direction. Does that make sense? Like, basically, that whole last 45-second sequence was, you know, just literally like lost time. So, but they do have enough energy to where they should be able to get through the lava dive backwards if they want to do it. So I don't know. Either way, you can say either way would be a fine decision.
Yeah, he would have been required to do the high jumpless lava dive. Just going through this back way, it's nice to just not have to worry about your worst room in the game item and your lava dive item. I was sure gonna farm up completely. Oh god, turning back on that spring ball. I think for some people doing the grapple jumps with spring ball on affects them.
Crade.
Oh, just great down here.
Look at Gala making a decision to leave. This is going to be a massive, massive advantage to Astor, especially since this is Crade. Even if Crade doesn't have anything good, but if Crade does, oh, never mind. He's going to go in the back way. Never mind. I thought he was going to book it over to the right. That could have been a pretty bad situation for Astor, though, if that had been Ridley and, like, you know, if he'd had, like, an unfortunate fight or something. But, yeah, at this point, it's looking like Astor's several minutes ahead. X-Ray's nice, but not great until you get charged. So we'll see.
I don't think he really wanted it. I think he kind of just had a misjudged it a little, because he's already killed Dragon, which is kind of the main reason you want that X-ray scope. I guess Phantoon too. Be a nice one round. We'll avoid kind of all the bad Phantoons that have plagued all of us in these finals.
Yeah, haven't been a lot of great Phantoons, especially on my end. Astor doesn't have screw, but he does have plasma, plenty of energy. Should not have any difficulty getting out. I guess the question is will he check screw or not? My guess is based on his past play, I think he might skip it. I think you could defend either choice here.
Yeah, I think he will skip it as well. I wouldn't be mad at him if he did go check it. I think it can be pretty reasonable to assume that if you're in this terrible ammo situation, your opponent probably is too. They are really far from enough ammo though, and that's the only thing that's hard. Oh wow!
Oh, he's actually gonna go.
He's going for it.
So he's only gonna take about maybe 2.5. Well, never mind with the thing. Still about 2.5. Yeah, I was gonna say he's only gonna take about 2.5 tanks of damage there. He probably will take at least a little bit of damage, you know, in these rooms, but very little because he's got plasma. He can kind of just get in position and then shoot at things until they're dead. And it shouldn't take much time.
So, I guess he is committed to fighting charge because he skipped a really easy ammo item just now.
The good news is there's no location for charge that he can't get to fairly easily, although some obviously are pretty slow. But already having that grapple beam makes, you know, potential Shaktool check a lot safer and easier. And he has a very easy way to get out of this room with bombs and spring balls, so this won't be an issue.
Just a new tank. So if Gala forgoes this, he could save a big chunk of time.
Yeah, he could. I'm curious to see if he will. So far, Gala, in most of his races, has not been... He's played it fairly straight, which, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially given his skill set and everything. But he might be feeling kind of behind. So it'll be curious to see what his decision will be here.
He skips the X-ray scope.
That jump is really annoying.
It really is, and you'd never do this. Only in area.
Well, what do we have left? Okay, so just for anyone who's not familiar with light area, the way that the portals will work for Wreck Ship and Meridia is one of the... Basically, it all kind of chains into a loop. West Meridia, one of the portals will connect to East Meridia, the other portal will connect to Wreck Ship, and the other portal will connect back to Blue Brent Star or like Criteria. So it kind of all runs in a big circle. So a lot of times people will do Phantoon and Dragon locations kind of back to back and just kind of keep going forward, if you will, to the next portal. So now that they have gravity, though, I'm actually kind of curious which one they'll choose to do, because they will have access to West Meridia first, being in the Red Tower location, or Red Brinstar location. But the flip side is like, especially if it spits you out at the highway portal and they don't have very many movement items, like that could just be like really slow and kind of goofy. So anyway, looks like Gala is skipping Screw.
Well, that's a good play. That's gonna... Well, they're gonna be really close now, because they both need to get to the crate face. How's your room or two away? And Gala about to be as well.
Yeah, Gala's actually going to pop out up there. This is actually a really strong play by Gala. Like, this is crazy how much time this made up. And he found a super here, which is great.
That's
Gala
nice.
in a much better position to do ammo. I think he's just committed to it. So at this point, Aster is probably clearing all the majors he can now run into in the future to try to find charge. And I think Gala's just going to keep doing his thing on ammo until he's got enough. So I don't know. In some ways, wouldn't it be really crazy if this game was decided on a charge location? I mean, like, that seems like that decides so many of the races.
Yeah, and I think in their respective positions, they're both making the correct choice. It's a... I don't know, it's kind of sketchy for both of them, because you just have to hope that supers are easily accessible for Gala, and then Azur's probably hoping to find, like, charge after Phantoon or something like that.
Yep. And they don't have speed booster, and the Aqueduct location is always a fantastic place to get a couple of miners, you know, when you get there. Now, technically, you can still crab clip into there, but I don't know if that's something that either runner will purposefully do in this particular situation. We'll just have to wait and see. I actually don't even really know how much slower it is. I think I've been told that it's not that much slower if you do it quickly.
Yeah.
We'll see.
There's a variation of it. I think I've only ever seen Aussie do, but that's quite a bit faster if you can get it the first try. But otherwise, yeah, it's not that much slower.
Aster been running some low ice this week, using some low ice delayed wall jump tech. Very nice. First try.
Kind of think perhaps for a second he forgot this is area Rando.
You know what's really interesting? I mean, technically right now, Galamaz has everything needed to finish the game except for ammo, right? Or charge.
Mm-hmm.
Will he just start abandoning major items? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a way that he could potentially make up some time. In fact, he kind of just pulled into the lead a little bit, sort of.
Yeah, because grapple is a bad item and should feel bad.
This is really crazy. All right, here's our connection. Here's Aqueduct.
There it is. Yep.
Will he go down and check, or will he just book it? You know, at this point, in some ways, it would be better for... Oh, I don't know, man. This is really crazy. I'm actually, like, really nervous now, because this race just got way more interesting.
This race is too close. Now, they've been just doing mostly the same things, just little variances here and there, but not taking different pathways really. Pretty good Phantoon from Gala there.
Perfect from Azure. Perfect low ice. Phantoon. It's like he predicted the future.
Not charged at Phantoon.
This is so crazy, dude. This race is nuts.
Oh.
Technically speaking, this would be, if Ridley's right here, this is a... does Asher only have 20 or does he have 25? I can barely read it. I think it's 20.
Just 20.
This could be somewhat of an advantage for Gala,
Yeah.
if this is Ridley. If it's not, then Asher still has extra time to either find charge beforehand, before the last item, or you know, maybe more ammo along the way, like if there's a super at Precious, for example.
Yep.
But oh man.
Yeah, Gala didn't farm up all the way, but he does have a lot of missiles to make up for
He
the
does.
extra supers.
Given how good both of these runners are, I'm a little disappointed both of them missed the full halfie, but you know, you can't get them all. Oh, this is a Phantoon.
That's the Phantoon. Wow.
Will Phantoon patterns make a difference in this race? Let's find out.
As you're going for the Precious, it's just a missile. Ooh. So what does this mean for Charge Beam? Probably in the wreck ship? Maybe a Gauntlet?
Oh,
Maybe. That was
Yeah.
a bad pattern.
Gauntlet would be really interesting place for it to be, actually, but that was a good pattern, but he got the fast eye close, and then he got flamed lame. So now Aster has a chance. Oh, especially with an opening round fast, Aster should be able to finish this fight faster. Gala getting some kind of bad patterns here, and then also kind of a bad flame lame. He's gonna have to 3-round here. Oh, looks like Aster's gonna have to 3-round too. And Aster gets the fast to close it. Oh no! I was thinking I got a slow. This is just really unfortunate.
Why are all of our Phantoons terrible lately?
And Aster pulls back into the lead with
Just
some
barely.
terrible Phantoon patterns and flame lames on Galamaz's part. But just some kind of, honestly, just some awkward Phantoon patterns for both. This is so exciting.
The thing with Phantoon, when you turn on the enemy palette shuffle, is like, I don't know. I don't count really when I play. I tell by his color whether he's ready for super or not, so maybe that kind of is affecting him. Because I feel like Phantoon was ready for a super on that 3rd round, but I guess not.
He might have been, but then again, you know, in the moment, you might be trying to make sure that you don't enrage, because that would be like just a nightmare. So, you know, you're already potentially 3 rounds deep. The last thing you want to do is accidentally hit him too early. So Aster, even though they have killed Dragon, he is skipping the plasma location. Looks like he is going, well, I take that back. He's going to go, I would assume, check pit, and then from there make a decision about everything else. Is Gala going?
Gala's
I think Gala's going to leave. He might check plasma, but I think like he's just heading to the portal.
Yeah. I mean, this will definitely take him to the wrecked ship, right?
It will, correct. I don't know which side because we haven't seen the other portal yet, but yeah, he might check plasma, but he's definitely leaving. Ooh, there's high jump boots.
High jump boots.
Although I will say at this late juncture, and especially without speed booster, not as impactful. Yep, looks like Gala's just banking on trying to find some extra ammo. I don't know where all he's gonna look before going to the end, but looks like Aster is going to at minimum head to this portal, or this tube to, I don't know if he's going to check items or if he's just going to try to leave.
I'm feeling like Azure's being a little wish-washy about whether he wants to find charge or find ammo, because he didn't pick up those missiles in the sand pit. We'll see if he stops at plasma here. High jump boots helps with that.
It does. It helps a lot, actually. And if this is speed booster, I mean, it's not just charge. If this is speed booster or space, he could get some value out of it. It's just that the value of movement items diminishes if you get them very late into the run. Obviously, I mean, I think everybody, sort of understands that. That is not the thing that Azure wanted to see. I will say this, though. Gala had a chance to pick up more miners in Meridia and didn't. Like the watering hole. Oh, I take that back. That's West Meridia. I guess he did check everything available other than the pit in East. But Rex Ship isn't going to have a ton. He could go back to Red Tower and get those at the top. But he's kind of running out of locations too. So even though he's ahead and hasn't been punished yet for his skips, we're still not guaranteed for him to find enough ammo.
Oh, this is charge.
If this is charged, then this is a very big situation for. Oh my God!
It is. Wow. All right, Gala. We in go mode.
So he's in go mode. He doesn't have high jump boots. He's only about 45 seconds to a minute. Well, actually, I take that back. It's over a minute because this backwards way into Rex Ship is actually a lot longer. But he's going to fight Ridley. He's got tons of soups, but he's got the full beam combo, so this should be a pretty easy Ridley fight. That's actually kind of also a good thing for Asher, is he knows this is Ridley, but he'll have like a cleaner fight because he'll have the charge beam. But yeah, Gala, I don't think the high jump boots can make up the amount of time that's the difference right now. So this will basically come down to execution. How well will each runner execute on the way to trying to finish?
Yeah, I definitely agree. High jump boots at this point aren't going to make up a minute. A good Ridley fight will. Gala unloading those supers a little bit faster. DPS there for him.
He also doesn't have to worry about, like, he could literally unload all of his soups or all of his ammo or whatever, because he's going to get it all right back when he goes down the elevator. I think those supers didn't hit, actually. All right, I think Ridley's dead. Unfortunately, kind of got trolled on the pickup, but I think Asher's made up a little bit of time. Also, we've kind of failed to mention that, unless you did and I missed it, sorry, but those high jump boots actually will make the Ridley fight faster. Or maybe easier, if that makes sense. You have more opportunity to kind of jump up and go over those swoops. But overall, not a bad Ridley fight by Gala there. But I do think Asher will have a little bit of an easier, maybe cleaner fight.
Yeah, I agree. I really miss high jump boots when I don't have them at Ridley. Actually, it's a lot more than you would think.
I'm used to not having them, but I'm not used to having plasma in conjunction with not having the high jump boots there. So, yeah, at this point, he's just hightailing it back. We don't know where this portal is. This is either Retro or I think Motor Crab. Is that right? It's Retro. So
the long way.
The long, long way. Of course, that's not a bad thing for either runner because they're both having to do the same thing. So at this point, he's just going to have to check the moat and crab portals to see which one is correct. Azure also doing a great job of utilizing those supers. That was a really nice fight and got the really clean pickup at the end too. Yeah, that was sick.
All right. Gala's still maintaining, I would say, about a minute of a lead.
Yeah, well, it'll be easier for us to tell when we obviously get to the elevator. This is kind of an awkward though. It's always weird when you have to come through the climb at the end and you have like weird items. Like right now, full beam combo is nice, but it's not nice in the climb. So trying to fire a few regular missiles to kill those pirates.
Yeah, Azure will have high jump boots for the climb, which is another awkward thing to have in that area.
Indeed. As mentioned before, for those of you new to area or light area, the current settings on these for the league this season, basically you get a free ship refill when you go down the Torian elevator. So that sort of removes that decision. So not that either runner would really want to fill up here anyway. This is not the correct portal, so he's going to check moat. But they wouldn't want to fill up here anyway because they have tons and tons of energy and tons of ammo. And with full beam combo, you're not going to get the DPS boost from the ammo like you would if you didn't.
Correct. Alright. Gala entering Turian. We'll check his time at the elevator, I suppose.
So 51:49 elevator touch. We'll be able to tell roughly how far behind Azure is when he gets there.
What? Why?
Azure never does anything without calls. No, I'm serious. I really don't know this one, but I'm not gonna say that it's a bad play until I understand what he was doing. Oh, I know what it is. I don't think he ever checked the other portal on the left.
That's true.
He went straight to Red Tower and never checked that portal. I bet that's the reason. I like the.
Oh, he was gonna go to the correct one first. Save time.
That would have been great. Would have been a nice play. But I also like the idea of him pre-opening that door. Also, it's better to check this one because if it's the correct one, you don't have to do an extra door transition. So I think he made the right call. But I do like the power bomb in the door in advance. So it looks like Gala's about a minute and a half, roughly ahead. Anything can happen in Super Metroid racing and Rando in particular, especially when you have full beam combo and you're going to include, you know, if the runners are going to try for stand up. But between two competent, you know, solid runners of the game in general, this is a pretty big lead for Gala at the moment.
Yeah.
So it kind of comes down to he's going to have something bad happen to get Astra kind of back in it. But I would never, ever rule out anything until they are on the ship. No matter what happens here, PBB, this race was incredible. This has been a wild back and forth.
Yeah, it has been so close. I think, yeah, Gala made some good skips. The skipping of Screw was actually really huge. Put him right back even with Asher. Nice sub skip there. That's another place you can easily lose time if you mess it up. And it's just gonna be the 20 shot Mother Brain. You could go for stand up glitch. Which I think saves about 20 seconds, but it's also possible that you can mess up stand up glitch, so we'll see if Gala makes the attempt. It is the final game, the final Mother Brain of the whole season.
That's right. That's crazy. It doesn't save 20 seconds for me because I'm a scaredy cat and I refuse to shoot. Like I always get nervous and don't shoot sometimes on purpose to make sure I don't like cause any issues or whatever. But this is a little dangerous. He's going to need to stand up and immediately take a bunch of damage. Hopefully he'll remember to do it very quickly because he did not take the Various suit off.
Correct. Looked good.
Ooh.
That
All
was
right.
a little scary.
Okay, he seems to be okay at the moment.
Blueberry brain.
All right, so Gala at this point needs to avoid. He doesn't have X-ray. There's a few more things that could happen that could mess up the stand-up. Hopefully, not only just because he's my teammate, but I feel this way for every runner. Like, you never want to see somebody mess up stand-up glitch and like lose a race because of it. So let's see. He does have a ton of energy though, so he should be able to kind of get back into place without. Sometimes if you only have like 7, or maybe sometimes like 8 energy tanks, it can be a little awkward because you could like kind of lose focus and then all of a sudden you're full and it's over. But he seems to be in the right position. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, like you said, there are definitely some ways that you don't want to have to win a race. But Azure actually going for the same method, not turning off area. Which is kind of unusual. Most people turn off area and do it that way.
Looks like Gala is through. He is an escape
Nice.
sequence away from winning Game 5 and becoming straight up leading Funky Town to the championship in the finals. Y'all, I gotta tell you, I gotta brag on the guy a little bit here. Before the finals, he had raced 4 times in the previous 3 rounds and had won 1 game and lost 3 and gotten pretty clobbered in those 3 games. He hasn't done a ton of area until this season, but the last few weeks, he has been practicing his tail off. We've been meeting and talking about a lot of things. And for him to come back, like after I dropped both of my races and went 0-2 in the finals, for him to potentially beat Azure twice is a Herculean effort because Azure is the Season 2 champion. Pound for pound, there's like 2 or 3 guys I consider to be like the absolute best rando players in the world. Azure's one of them. For Gala to come back and win 2 races in the finals to lead our team to the championship is incredible. So I'm really proud of Gala and his efforts. This is an amazing story. And I'm sorry I'm getting a little giddy, Polar Bear Bunny, because I know we're both vested in this, but what a series. This has been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's so good to see Galamaz back, and yeah, like you said, like, beating someone twice is really not easy. I think it's the same way in sports, like, beating someone so good and so just on your level twice is just almost impossible. And I'll let you do the honor of shouting at your teammate there.
Ladies and gentlemen, Galamaz has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 58 minutes and 50 seconds, going 2-0 in the finals, leading Funky Town to a 3 wins to 2 wins championship victory. GG, and Azure is not far behind at all. What a race. What a series. My goodness. PBB, GG on a great series. Amazing.
Yeah, GG. GG to Gala, bringing it home for Funky Town, the champions of the Season 3 Super Metroid Randomizer League. I can't believe it's over.
I'm going to admit to you right off the bat, I'm actually sad. I have really enjoyed this season. I was talking on my stream today about how like there's kind of like a void for me because I love competition so much. And I had a ton of fun racing everybody this season. So for it to be over is a little bittersweet. But we are joined by our winner of tonight's race and carrying Funky Town to the championship, Gala. All my dead weight on your shoulders. How is your back feeling, my man?
Oh man, it was pretty sore, but yeah, I got through it.
Well, GG. We're also joined by Azure, our runner-up in tonight's race. A fantastic race by both of you. a fantastic series and season. I know it's tough to lose, but Asher, GG to you as well.
Yeah, GG.
Yeah, GG to both of you for sure. You guys have no idea how close that race was throughout pretty much the entirety. Mostly doing all of the same things.
Oh, really? Yeah, I was expecting it to be like pretty similar, but I wasn't sure about the charge beam thing.
That was a tough one to kind of make decisions on. And I wasn't sure, like, it actually, when I found out that the wreck ship spits out at Bluebird Star, I was wondering if, like, possibly you had checked that earlier. It turned out it was Ridley, so it would have been a really bad time sync, but before I was kind of wondering the whole scene whether you had been to wreck ship earlier, and you know, if charge was there and we needed to kill Phantoon elsewhere.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different potential things that could happen.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't really going to go to wreck ship because I wasn't sure if like Phantoon was going to be there, so it was like it's not very likely. So I was like, well, it's best not to go to wreck ship until later. And so I feel like we would have turned out to do the same thing anyways. But yeah, I have not practiced any boss rando, so I was really sweating when you picked that against me. I was like, oh man, boss rando, and I'm over here sweating like, what do I do? What do I do?
So yeah, I knew it was a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, I knew you would pick something like that. So, I mean, I still didn't practice it, but
I was gonna say we talked about it. We Gal and I talked about what would happen if you first picked Boss Rando, Asher, because I kind of felt like you being a heady player, you would do that. And we basically kind of came to the conclusion that defaulting to major minor would probably be in Gal's best interest. But my sort of question about the way the seed played out for both of you would be, you know, light area kind of traps you in Norfair where you know that 2 bosses are going to be. And y'all got Varia early, but the complexity on the seed was really on the back end. So how were y'all feeling about that Varia? And then, I don't know, just kind of how did you adjust along the way?
I got grapple not too long after, I think. And then after I got grapple, I was like, okay, well, I can kill 3 bosses now. Potentially 4 if I start getting enough ammo. So I felt pretty good about going to Norfair after that. I kind of made a mistake when I was in Greenbryn, because I ran out of power bombs for the wave gate, because I forgot I had regular bombs. And then so at first I was gonna like leave via the criteria entrance at the green Brimstone elevator. But then I was like, wait, no, I need to go loop back through and check Wavegate. And then when I was passing it, I autopiloted and I forgot. And then I kind of took an inefficient route through Red Britain, which put me near X-Ray. So I think if I was thinking, I would have made a bit of a different decision. But I was thinking like maybe go back to Criteria, maybe see if Rick Ship is available. But I still felt okay about going to Norfair. But yeah, I didn't mean to skip that Wavegate. I was I realized I had done it like a minute later, and I was just like, well, I can't really go back for it. But the Varia was mostly a relief to see.
Right.
Yeah, y'all both got high jump bootless gravity escapes from Dragon. And going into it, I've never seen either one of y'all do it, but I knew for sure, I was like, there's no way Asher doesn't know how to do it, because like I'm sure he's done it in tons of randos and SMZ3 and stuff. And I was like, I bet Gala knows how to do it, but at the same time, we've never really talked about it. And that is a tough trick, y'all. I think I've only gotten it like one time. So were both y'all feeling pretty confident about getting it, or was it, you know, maybe a source of some anxiety?
I think that was like the first time for me.
Dude,
like,
nice.
like in my RBO experience, like you would have high jump and do the grapple escape, so I haven't done it without it. But I'm like kind of comfortable with the grapple jumps anyways, so it wasn't too different, but it took me a couple tries.
I've done it in SMZ3. I've had some crazy SMZ3 go modes where I have like I've got like all the Link to the Past items early, and then I just have this crazy uncomfortable Meridia where like I once had to do like Coliseum with no space jump or grapple just because like it was available on the table and there were too many spots to search for other things. And I've had to do it without high jump as well, so I knew I'd be able to do it. I really was like not sure at all if Gallo was going to be able to do it because that's the thing that doesn't come up too much outside of boss rando.
Yeah, I was thinking about like, should I reset? Once I got into the room, it's like, there's no way out, is there? But I was like, I could probably do it with this much E-Tank, so it gives me enough tries. So yeah.
I want to open up the next question to both of you as well as Polar Bear Bunny, and hopefully, I don't know if we're going to be able to get Zos or Aussie in here. Hopefully, they'll be able to join. But apart from the race, just talk a little bit about the series and also just the league season in general. Obviously, this was the very final race. You know, I personally really enjoyed the season. I liked having teammates. Every single series that we raced was fun for me because I hounded Gala to practice with me and talk with me because I'm always wanting to talk about that kind of stuff. But I really enjoyed it. For the three of y'all, and hopefully if Aussie and Zos get in here, can y'all just kind of tell us your thoughts on the series and the league season in general?
So this is the first season for me to like do randomizer again after that one tournament in 2017, and so I guess the regular season, I really enjoyed that. That was like a bunch of different randomizer types, and that was very enjoyable. But as we moved on to like more Varia randomizer stuff, it became like extremely uncomfortable because Varia has like the chance to like randomize the seed on you, so that like really stressed me out at the beginning of the playoffs, and so yeah, eventually I got it together at the end, so
Yeah,
just in time for the finals.
Just one final question for you about tonight's race, Gala. When you got power bombs and supers as the first two minor items, were you like huge sigh of relief?
No, I was more indifferent. It was like I got what I got, and it's time to move on.
It was a huge sigh of relief for me because I didn't want you guys walking around looking for power bomb pack. But Asher, Polar Bear Bunny, what about you guys?
Oh, I just want to say one more thing about the race that I'm annoyed at myself. I forgot to save scum the screw tech item, and I was thinking about that after I got into amphitheater. And I knew that it was a really slow way out of the front of lower Norfair, so I was like kicking myself quite a bit for not doing that. And I was wondering like how many risks should I take later on to kind of offset that. But I kept thinking back to the previous race with Gala, and a lot of my seeds, like I've been making like one little skip and getting screwed on it in practice. So it kind of made me not want to do more skips, and I think it actually would have been the answer this time. But it was this was an exciting series to play out and see upcoming. So our team was also in the Link to the Past Randomizer League, and we made it to 4th place. We had Hitaka playing instead of Polar Bear Bunny, but I said to Aussie, hey, do you want to do like the same thing for Super Metroid League? And he was like, yeah, sure. So it was cool getting to do that, and I think we knew our team had a pretty strong chance at playoffs. But when we made it, it was we had some tough races and some kind of tough losses. Luck not really going our way, but we did a really good job pulling it back in the first 2 rounds where we reverse swept. And so I had a lot of faith in us to pull through.
Yeah, I felt bad throughout like the entire playoffs because I was just like, well, I'm just gonna make us down 1 game every single series. And I did do that successfully for the first 3 rounds of the playoffs till finally the finals. And I'm just gonna feel like I won because beating Kip is not an easy task, and so I'm just gonna take my trophy and run.
You know what, Polar Bear Bunny? I've been waiting all season. I was going to talk about it after our race, but then, like, I got clobbered by you, and then the whole thing got kind of crazy. And one thing, I don't know if we talked about this a ton out to the public, but you and I, even though we're on different teams, actually practiced together a lot this season, especially early on because we both are the power players for our team. And so we ran a lot of seeds together. Polar Bear Bunny and I talked a lot of strategy, and I actually learned a lot from her. I hope that you feel the same. And we kept talking about how much fun it would be to race each other. I'm really happy we got to do that, and I'm a little bummed that I won't get to race you again for a while because I don't like being 0-1 to somebody, but maybe in the future we can race again. But I'm really proud of you. You had a fantastic season and a great finals in particular. And man, I just had so much fun. This series was so back and forth. It was fun and also stressful.
Yeah, I feel a big relief, kind of, that it's over and don't have to like worry anymore. And I don't know, it's all good things. I'm really glad that I had the team that I did. And speaking of, I don't think Zost is able to join us, and I'm not sure if Aussie is going to either.
Yeah, real quick, I do want to mention, we haven't brought up Zost. Zost and Gala were, 2 people that I kind of had targeted for a potential team this season. And I think Zost is a really fantastic Rando player. I think sometimes he actually doesn't get enough credit for his skills in Rando because a lot of times people just sort of, oh, well, he's the best runner in the world at speedrunning, so of course he's going to be good. But I actually think that he did a fantastic job continuing to practice and update his strategies this season, and I had a lot of fun hanging out with him. So I see him in the chat. Zost, I really appreciate you joining the team, and I hope you had fun this season. It was great hanging out with you and Gala, and it's cool that we won. So, yeah, it was a great season.
Yeah, I also want to say I'm really proud of my team. Bunny taking that game in the finals and saving us, and like I was really proud of her for that race because she in that race showed off a lot of I think the values that my team has that we know how to play smart, we know how to put together game plans to win. We think a lot about how, and like she and I have talked about this a lot, like if you find yourself in X situation, like you kind of map out the seed, you read how it's going, and you figure out what situation you're probably in relative to your opponent, and you try and do the best thing that'll get you to win in that situation, which can apply if you're just getting unlucky in your seed so far, or if you got an opponent that mechanically outclasses you. And also a big shout out to Aussie for helping represent the division in learning the redesigned speedrun.
Yeah, I gotta ask you something real quick, Asher, in particular. First of all, I agree with everything you said about your team. That's why you guys were, every team is good, but in my opinion, if you're talking about like 101 racing 3-game series, there were basically 3 teams that I thought were the strongest this season, and that was you guys, us, and Good Boys, who we had to face in the first round. And so both of those series went 5 games. I think you guys have, one of the smartest, most capable teams out there. But I got to ask you a question. Please don't get mad at me for asking because I'm really kind of insulting myself too. But you and I rematched here in the finals because we faced each other in last year's finals and you beat me. This season in the finals, both of us went 0-2. Do you feel as bad as I do?
Not yet. I think it might take a little bit to sink in, but like, I I kept it sort of closed most of the time. I opened it when I entered Turian, just to like. I was like, okay, unless Gala like freakishly got out of the seat, I don't think he'd be done yet. So I can like pre-type my dot done now. And then I opened it when I was killing Mother Brain, and I'm like, okay, still nothing yet. You know, if he dot dones before the escape sequence is over, then I have to like accept that right now. I have to be fine with it. And this is how I think I'd prefer the very last game to go. Not really a blowout. Normally I don't like losing close races because it's kind of like, oh, if you had just done like any number of tiny little things differently. Like there were a couple of things that I could have done differently that would have saved that amount of time that I can clearly picture. But I was just like, I'm not gonna do that to myself this time. If he beats me, then he played a great race. He deserves to win. So I don't think I feel as bad about it yet. It sucks to lose. I don't really like losing, but
I'm with you there.
There has to be the possibility for you to lose. Like, even if you're super competitive, there has to be the possibility for you to lose for the wins to mean anything.
I agree wholeheartedly.
What was the original question again? I forgot.
I think we were just,
did I feel as bad?
How do you feel bad? Yeah, since we both went into.
I mean, I'm glad that I get someone to share that with, at least. Because I didn't lose any games in the entire season, other than the super close one I had with Junie, where I messed up stand up. I've experienced a lot of I'm in a lot of different tournaments for different games. I've experienced a lot of doing really well, having this great streak until you get to really far in and you're against the best opponents, and then you crumble and lose there, and it's like you did so much work to get there. You had such a good record, you had such a strong showing, and then you kind of it feels a bit less like you. It feels a bit like you have not as much to show for it as you wanted. After
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I get it.
After working that hard. But no, really happy about how the season went, and glad that I got to spend it with my team, and that we got to make people sweat a little.
Yeah, I was definitely worried coming into the finals, because I was like in the playoffs, I was like losing one match after another, and I was like, man, this feels like terrible, and I'm dragging down my team and all that, and I was like, man, in the finals, I gotta put this together, and even I was really nervous, but I'm glad I performed decently well enough to take a win.
Yeah, I was much more confident in that first race against you than I think I was in this one. Because I think I was more confident. I knew you had practiced a bunch, but I still felt like I had the upper hand with more experience, and the mistakes and choices that I made in that seed punished me really, really hard. And you'd played it much, much better than your other playoffs races. So, I knew you're capable of putting together a good race. I don't remember where I was going with this, but
He went to Kip boot camp, I think.
yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, since Kip had I think the most Varia experience on our team, we were working together a lot about ways to play ways to take on the Varia Rando, and so helped me put my head together.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Gala, you mentioned kind of struggling a little bit at the beginning of the playoffs, and you were, but it's again, you had a Herculean effort in terms of, or a task, in the fact that you've done Rando, but getting used to Varia, it's a different type of Rando, and it takes a lot of seeds to get some experience. But I never, ever, ever once gave up thinking that, like, you couldn't do it or something. I kept thinking, like, I know he's going to put this together any minute now, and it's going to snap, and he's going to kill it. So you came through at the perfect time. And I really kind of feel like the way this played out, it could not have been better for our team. Every single person on the team contributed immensely to us getting to the championship. So I had a blast. I really want to thank the organizers for this season. I was probably not going to play this season, but then when they announced it was going to be teams, I really wanted to do it because I've been wanting to do something team related in this, in Super Metroid for a long time. So I had more fun doing this league than I would have anticipated, and I actually challenged myself and learned a lot of new modes that I ended up liking more than I thought. So big shout outs to the organizers. I'll turn it over to y'all. Any final thoughts before Tracy gets in here and kind of closes us out?
Real quick, GG Esther. It was a lot of fun to get to race you again in Randomizer, and thank you for the comms and the organization. Had a lot of fun in this Rando League.
Yeah, it's been a few years. There were some decisions I made in that quarterfinal set against you in 2017 that I was like, I went back and I was just like, wow. I was like I had some solid game plans, but some of it was also really off the rails, and I was like, okay, I've learned so much since then, so let's kind of try and bring it back and kind of get revenge for it. And it still didn't happen, but
yeah, it was definitely intimidating since everybody's been playing Randomizer for a good while, and I'm like starting out Varia Rando for the first time, so
yeah,
it was intimidating for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure I have plenty more things to say that I've forgotten, but GG's, and happy that I'm happy that the season turned out as well as it did.
PBB?
I don't know. GG to both of you and both of our teams, and I'm really happy it happened the way it did. Looking back on it all, yeah, kind of like Kip said, like each one of us was instrumental in getting us to where we were. So no one really is like the odd one out or the weak link or anything like that. And thank you to the organizers as well. Thank you, Kip, for joining me. GD Phase 4 on tracking tonight. And then, just thanks to everyone who's helped out throughout the whole season.
So before Tracy takes us home, I just want to announce real quick, I am going to get championship belts for Gala and Zost. So that'll be the big celebration for the season. Tracy, what do you got? What's up?
All right. First of all, huge congratulations to you, Kip, Gal, and Zost for winning this thing. I truly believe we had the best two teams in the finals. There was some weird seeding that happened because of weird stuff that I know Zost had some very unfortunate misses that kind of caused you guys to move down a little bit. So it was still cool that you guys managed to pull it out from that 6th spot. And also congratulations to our runner-up, Ashter, Polar Bear Bunny, and Aussie. Also, you're all friends of mine too. So it's, when the 6 of you are playing each other, and Kip and Gal, I've even met you in person, it's really hard because I just don't want anyone to lose. But somebody has to win and somebody has to lose, and that's just the way it is, and that's the way it happened. And it's ironic that the two that played it out last year in the finals were the ones that didn't win any games. So Rando be Rando, I guess. A lot of people I want to thank, a lot of things I want to mention. But Kip, I kind of think we should. We have an announcement about tournaments that maybe you might help me out with, since you're also one of the tournament organizers.
Yeah,
it's going to be coming up pretty soon.
Waiting until the end of the season here to announce. We still have a few small details to iron out, but And Tracy, feel free if I mess something up, correct me as always. But
We have lots of details to iron out,
yeah,
but we do know what's coming up next. We
our
can
next Super Metroid Community Major Tournament is going to be a full triple bingo tournament, and so we're going to have a placement process that's going to be really good. That's going to be kind of similar to what we did with our randomizer stuff in the SG Live Rando tournaments. It worked really well. And so we're going to do triple bingo. We've done dab in the sort of near past, but we haven't done triple bingo exclusively. We wanted to show it some love. And so that will be coming soon. So expect an official announcement in the next maybe week or so. We just got to get a couple more things kind of ironed out in terms of timing and stuff like that. But I really hope every single person out there that is interested at all in Super Metroid, running Super Metroid, even if you're just kind of a randomizer person, I would encourage you to check out Bingo. We want as many players as possible participating and hanging out and having a good time. And Bingo is a lot of fun. I never did it until our last tournament, and it ended up being one of my favorite ways to play. So we hope you join us. And Tracy, what else would you like to add to that?
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's basically the announcement. Triple Bingo, really excited to trot that one out. We, like you said, we've done dab. I think dab's been done 3 times. I wasn't around for the first 2 tournaments, but we've done dab a lot. And triple bingo is going to be different. You don't get to see the card early. You have 3 rows you have to deal with, and let me tell you, when you get to that 3rd row and trying to match it up with the other 2 that you picked, it's not easy. So I think that's going to be a ton of fun, and looking forward to that. But yeah, so I've got a whole lot of people that I want to thank, because I do not do this alone. First of all, the other admins who declined to join. D-Drag, I think, would have joined, but it's like he's in the UK, so it's like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning for him. He's always a big help to setting these up. Android Dreams, Shala Shaska, also huge shout outs to them for the work they do. I do a lot because I just have the extra time, but whenever I needed someone to take over, they're always there. I can't even begin to name all the people that have done commentary and tracking this season, but like people that stepped up to, especially the trackers, really. Like we'll air these without comms. We won't air them without trackers because people need to know what's going on. But definitely huge shout outs to all of our volunteers for taking their time to either talk about the game or to track the game, and just showing the love for us and the rest of the community. The people behind the scenes, there's all the SG people. There's a ton of setup people. I can't even begin to announce all of them. But Adirondack Rick, especially, who works really hard scheduling things for us. Miss Metroid, always available when things go wrong to help fix them. And Rick especially, because whenever there's a late match, and he's the one that does the Tetris work and schedules things and everything. And let me tell you, we were going up against in the playoffs the Link to the Past tournament, and there's a lot of races there, and they always gave us the priority when it made sense to do so, and I definitely appreciate that. The Very Guys, Wish, and the Only Dude, without their rando, we couldn't have had all the different settings. Also Total, because we use his rando for the multi. So really big shout outs to him, and of course, he's been around doing. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had the original randomizer tournament, I assume, because it was his work that made that possible. UKIP and the Dash crew, because we got our Dash randomizer. Fun to have my name in credits and something.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And also, big shout outs to you, Maniacal, Rumblemans, and Mass Hysteria. The group of people that you had put together to bounce ideas off for SG Live. So I say, you know what, I'm going to use those guys. And you guys let me have it a few times when, certain decisions were made that maybe weren't the best decisions. And I learned a ton of things, mistakes we made that are going to be fixed next year. I'm not going to detail all that stuff here, but there's definitely things that we can improve and will improve. And, if not for some of the conference, and you in particular, that we've had long conversations about different things dealing with the season, and some of your ideas have really helped out, especially when we're trying to figure out how to do the draft mode, and you encouraging that we should do it as a day of instead of doing it ahead of time. Definitely shout outs to you for that.
And I
And-
want to jump in and really give you credit to you and the rest of the organizers, because y'all did a lot of new things this season and tried a lot of things. I'm a big fan of trying stuff. Try stuff, see if it works, see if it's cool, instead of just doing the same old every time. And I had a ton of fun. So y'all deserve a lot of credit for having a lot of creativity for not only the regular season but the postseason as well. So despite any hang-ups or snags that came up along the way, which always happens no matter who's organizing whatever, y'all did a fantastic job of putting together a great product, and I think everybody enjoyed it, including the viewers. So y'all deserve a lot of kudos.
I really appreciate hearing that from you, Kip, because you're one of the people I truly respect as much or more than anybody else in this community. So that really means a lot to me. Also, we're still working on highlighting VODs, but all season we've had Diddy Kong highlighting the VODs. So on our spreadsheet, the little links that are there, those are there because he's done the highlighting. And of course, you may not love this part, but well, first of all, huge shout outs to Sinak. He's from the Link to the Past community. He has Sahabat or Sarasalabat, if you want to say it properly, which I can't. But the difference in being able to just type a command in SRL and have a seed roll, as opposed to having to go to the website, go through the process of creating the seed, copy the link, put it somewhere, and then, just made all the difference in the world. And definitely huge shout outs to him. We have some things that we might be working on for next season, but I'm not going to talk about those. We do probably have to come up with something to replace Route Rando, because I'm not vetting 15 Route Rando seeds again. I guess I will mention one idea that we're going to work on. I don't know if we'll get it working. Is Link to the Past does a pilot spoiler setup where one player gets the spoiler log and the other player runs the seed. And if I can get somebody to create that in a usable fashion, we'll test that out and see if that might be an option to replace the Route Rando. Also, I got to shout out the Randomizer League, Drossi in particular, the ALTTBR Randomizer League. We stole a lot of our structure from them. And, Drossi and I have had some long conversations about different things that have worked for us and worked for them and not worked for us and not worked for them. And without that kind of help, I don't know if I would have been able to come up with all this on my own. But I saw how much fun everybody had, both the last two Link to the Past Randomizer Leagues. I say, you know what? I think we can do this. And then we could do, one-on-one. I think eventually there'll be a randomizer tournament. Something more like what was done in 2017. It was like one mode and, some sort of bracket or something for individual play. Because I still think there's a lot of value in that. But for this kind of season-long thing, I really like the way the team thing worked out. And so I want to thank those guys for letting us steal their product. So I hope I'm not forgetting him. But I wrote a list. So I'm hoping that's everybody. But if there's anybody else that anyone can think of, you can bring them up. Otherwise, yeah. It's been a fun season. We're probably going to be, we won't be, I'm guessing it'll be next year around the same time that we'll do the next one, but I won't hold us to that. We don't want to run into tournaments and stuff. And one of the great things about the Super Metroid community that I don't see in other communities is that randomizer and non-randomizer is not split. Like the Super Metroid community, I think, is pretty united in both the randomizer community and those that just do speed runs. And a lot of people do both, and I think that's really cool. One of the great things about this community, because it just makes it so much. I think our community is so much more solid. And when we do tournaments, we don't want to be doing Randomizer League at the same time. So there'll be a few tournaments, and then we'll come back to Randomizer League, and that'll probably, hopefully, we'll get some sort of nice rotation going so that things don't overlap at all. And like we already talked about Triple Bingo coming up next, but yeah, not sure there's anything else I need to add. So, Kip, since you and Bunny, you did the broadcast. I guess I should mention, coming up next, we do have Link to the Past tournament. I'm going to mention this especially because we have, in the semifinals, we have Obscure Lifeform versus Gamachu. And Obscure Lifeform was one of our runners. He was on the team Noble Foxes during our regular season. They didn't make the playoffs, but he sure is killing it in Link to the Past right now. So y'all should watch and root for him coming up at the top of the hour. So definitely want to shout him out because he's doing really well. But yeah, Kip, Bunny, you want to close us out since you did such a great job on comps. By the way, Bunny, I was so excited when you said you and Kip, you suggest the idea of you and Kip doing this comps. I love the double teammate comps, one from each team. So.
Yeah, I'll let Polar Bear Bunny get the final word here. I appreciate you asking me to do it with you, Polar Bear Bunny. I mentioned this earlier. I'll say it again. I'm a little sad to see this season go. I love the competition and I love talking about it. And Polar Bear Bunny is one of the people that I've actually spoken with the most about Randomizer League and just strats and stuff all season. So I'm actually a little bummed to see it go. But I'll let you have the final word. But before that, instead of saying see you next mission, I'll say see you next season. PBB, close us out.
Yeah, thanks again to Kip for joining me tonight so we could have our teams here together to celebrate and kind of mourn the end of the Season 3 Randomizer League. I hope to see all of you next time, and thank you for joining us in chat, and I hope you have a great night.